Hi guys, welcome back to another Shadow Tiger video. Today we are doing What If There Was a Country Here-ish, inspired by, I think it's a D's Pro. It's gonna let's duplicate that so I got a copy off for myself. This is a very stretched out world map. Sorry, okay. So starting we need to find out who's gonna go colonize. England is gonna go, Spain, gonna head over these two probably. Probably even Brazil could, with a bit of maybe Mexico, but I'm not entirely sure. And maybe France, sending a few troops from French Guiana. And one of these African nations, which is the most most developed African nation. Country in Africa, okay. Development is in dark green. Mauritius is over there in this corner. I should probably use this pointer. So over there. We've also got Algeria, which is probably going to be the one that sends the people over. So now using our big brain, it's going to be either like Algeria or maybe this guy over here. I know on the tip of my tongue. I'll think about it. That's Western Sahara. And that's Mauritania. That's Mauritania. Okay. I think we should probably go for Algeria coming through and making a attempted landing over there. Okay, so now we have each of our countries making a little landing on the continent. Brazil getting down there along with a bit of France. Up here will be Canada, along with the American territorial claim, which is kind of skinny. I'm gonna say there's a big likelihood that I can just put an island here and just say the Algeria landed there. So we'll do that. Algeria landed on this island now, guys. Sorry. Sorry if you were repping for if you were excited for Algeria to sweep the competition and become the sole owner of this amazing place. But no, Algeria is now on this island, just taking up residence over here, this part. Spain taking this flat piece of land and the UK taking this corner. Probably there would be a few more countries that would fly in, so let's just look at the possible other people who would try. Well, obviously France is going in from French Guiana, but Mexico could try and do a little campaign to fit in right there, just in this area here. But I'm going to say it's unlikely, only because of the distance, which is kind of further than anyone else who's tried. Along with that, Portugal might also try and make a landing, so it could go and sit in between here. And if we grant that, well, we could potentially just do that right now. Let's just abide by this idea, because there's no real evidence. I'm not even going off the sea borders or anything, so why not? Okay, so this coast, Algeria, potentially Niger would come and land here on this peninsula. So I'm going to say they do. So what would start to happen is the countries would start to explore. So just kind of the island so far. We need to discuss a few things. starting with, what are these guys going to do with this area? It is quite a large area to partition up. So let's see a proposed idea. So Britain, so we're going to cut it off there, this deal, because this area would be more of a no man's land with these guys figuring it out over here. But Britain would get everything over here, following probably like a river before reaching the border. Spain will take everything up to the river, and Portugal will take the inside. Over here, we're going to draw a little border there, so Spain has this area taking off this location. We'd have Algeria making a land, but giving Nigeria most of this, just giving Algeria this tiny area over here. That's kind of the proposed treaty at the moment, but let's see what actually happens, as in real life it isn't always that well done. So Britain, being a man of his word, being a country of its word, follows a natural river, not the right natural river, may I add, before going straight to finish off its border. Portugal, on the other hand, does a kind of also follows another river, heads all the way down here before just drawing another straight border with England, just to make sure Spain doesn't get across, and Spain won't. Spain will just follow a different river, but this time it's a very short one, before drawing a straight line across this border. They would also avoid this peninsula before following a natural river all the way into Britain's territory. So Spain is currently, I'm gonna say, has the largest chunk, with these guys taking up here, and Algeria attempting to take, would be very nice. So a peace treaty for this kind of area. What would happen is, the proposed deal is America gets all the way over here, probably following a natural border, maybe mountains or a river or something, before coming to this straight line here. France would follow that river America followed down here to give up his border. Brazil would kind of just expand up until this river that is kind of always tumbling downwards-ish, more like that. Canada would go across and grab this peninsula, and this peninsula, basically just creating a big circular area around there for their territory. But America would contest to that, asking if they could have this peninsula. And this time in real life it's not that different. America does have their little straight border with France. They have this little wavy border here, and Brazil has a very rivery border. Canada takes all of this area, with America taking off this chunk. So this is the border deal here, with Brazil getting quite a bit, which isn't obviously unheard of. Boop. Pretty big territory now, everywhere for everyone. Now we've got to cover up this area between Britain, Canada, US, Spain, Brazil. So this is kind of what it would look like, maybe Spain getting this massive border. So now it looks like Brazil's the largest, And when you're a large country, things will tend to go wrong. And such a rebellion starts in this kind of capital area. There would be a capital city more near here. So a more rebellion. They start like ketchup stains, I guess. They start to spread, taking over a massive chunk of Brazil. I'll just do a nice little line. I'll try and show you where they've kind of taken over. But they've taken over most of this area. Brazil hasn't even noticed yet, but then they start to try and chipping away at these rebellions, hopefully containing it only down here. And the naval, they take boats, or a few boats, sail round to this side so they can actually do a kind of pincer movement. Half of them moving up here, the other half moving over here, connect, and then surround the troops over here. In here, the Brazilians are a bit stuck, so they just kind of take it. Now we've got kind of a warring Brazil. Brazil isn't that happy with its new territorial claim, so it wants to make a quick peace treaty, but a rebellion isn't happy until it's a rebellion. Until the rebellion wins. So it follows this river border, not wanting to disrespect the French or American territorial claims. I don't think any other country would try to attack it, yet at least. Brazil kind of gets consumed up here by this, I think. This is also all my opinion. I haven't looked at any facts beforehand. So Brazil just does a reverse naval invasion, going around here and invading here-ish, grabbing back their capital city and pushing these red people into like a kind of a reverse pincer movement. Don't know what to call it. So now these guys are ready to listen to a peace treaty. Now they're quite scared of paradise. Another river border is formed with the rebellion living on this side and the Brazilians living on this side, with the tensions still very much high in between them. The rebellion now seizes this unclaimed piece of land, which I don't know why it was never claimed in the first place. Algeria's fine. Nigeria, I think, will be fine. This massive Spain, however, is going to have a few different problems, much like the Spanish Civil War. We're going to have a bunch of tiny little exploding little civil wars throughout the country. There would be a few pro-English, like these guys over here would be pro-English, meaning they want the English to take over this area for them. A few pro-Brazilians over here by the Brazilian border. A few communists and a few monarchists, just to amp up the tensions. The government is able to crush these little Brazilian people, not Brazilian, like Brazilian loyalists, and then starts to push back on the British loyalists, with only the communists and the monarchists left. The communists want to make kind of just a separate USSR, but on this continent, which wouldn't be good for our buddy the US over here, who does not want to be close to a communist. So they kind of send out their own forces, these blue people, kind of sending them out from this border, this tiny little microscopic border, and start chipping away at all of this red that they see. So does Spain from the other side, leaving the monarchists to basically just come in and take out these gaps. making some sort of deal with all of these royalists. So, boom, they're all gone, except they aren't introducing a new border strike up along this line. So they would kind of not want this line, so they'd kind of more like do it over here maybe. The monarchists get everything behind this line. Meaning Spain is now reducing in size, which isn't fun. And there's 2 non-country continents in this continent. Problem is, the monarchists are a monarchist nation. So they want to, but they don't know who to make king. So they go out to find someone, whoever will be king. And while the UK actually offers up them their claim if they make their current king/queen their leader. And this country agrees, wanting more claims, but basically just making this area just Britain's area. Very manipulative tactic there, not gonna lie. But now Britain has all of this, which is kind of smart. Even though there are still a few tiny little areas down here that are still not under their control. So let's do a kind of weird Dalmatian splotch. Border gore, I know. And is there anything else? Yes, Spain is going to push back and destroy these weird Brazilians taking this land. And then Algeria is going to attempt to make another landing over here. Algeria will try to go over here-ish. Landing, but getting beaten back by Nigeria, who then decides to land a full-on assault on our friendly Algerian, who hasn't done anything so far. So landing here, the Algerians are kind of being pushed back en masse, I think that's how you say it. Massive swaths of land have been taking over. Algerians try and push back in some places, more like this city area, kind of looks like a gopher. Takes out the top half of this military invasion, carries on going though along the bottom half, taking out the bottom. Algeria's kind of like, okay, I'm sorry. And Nigeria's like, you better be. I don't know why I'm giving these people like names and stuff. I don't know. So they need to come to a peace agreement, and surprise, surprise, it's going to be very in the Nigerians' favour because they just won, basically. Meaning the Nigerians take this massive island, leaving the Algerians with barely any claim. And the Nigerians didn't want the Algerians to have any claimant on this new land at all, but the other country stepped in and told it, no, that's not right. So this is what this map looks like. We want maybe a solid border at least. So to finish off this map, we're going to see Spain just taking back these monarchists, and these being absorbed into Canada. And to complete the border goal, Portugal is going to kind of sell bits of their claim off to its neighbours, starting with a large piece going to Spain, then the next bit going over here to England. Okay, so England taking this line and this river and this kind of river border. Okay, Portugal's back there. It's kind of all well and all done. Brazil, France decides it'll be good enough to make a new deal with Brazil on how to partition their area. France gets a tiny bit more land, which it wanted, and doesn't follow Brazil's old lines anymore by just by getting a tiny bit more coast and blocking Brazil out from all the coast, honestly. Which isn't the nicest, but maybe gives them a bit of coast over here. This area will be disputed between these guys and the Brazilians, with the these anti-Brazilians getting it. Brazil taking that as the final straw, invading and kind of just barely wiping. With them still having a tiny bit of land left in this continent. Brazil and France have reached a good deal. Canada and the US want to redraw this line over here as it feels a bit outdated, taking along the exact same parallel as they did a second ago, going a bit like this. Boom. Giving Canada slightly more land, but who cares? America got the oil. This island has the oil on it. Canada hasn't discovered yet. America goes over, oil, well done, America. And then there's one final thing. America asks Brazil so it can move its border so it can have nice access to its other area, and Brazil obliges, just letting America through there. And that is kind of what the finished borders would look like. We'd have the let's do a little size comparison here. I'm thinking at first would probably either be England or Brazil. At second would be Brazil or England, which I think England, Brazil. Then we're gonna go US, Canada, Spain. France, maybe, Nigeria, Portugal, then Algeria. These guys don't count because they weren't original. Anyway, yeah, that's the end of this scenario. More regular videos coming soon. Tell me in the comments if you liked this video. See you later. Goodbye. Wait, just see ya.